Guys, Tifa here with Fitbully TV. I get a lot of messages rooted in behavior. Hey, I've got 2 dogs who will not get along. How do I bring 2 dogs back together? Why or how can I stop my dogs from fighting? We now have American Bullies. We've got American Bullies with more Mastiff. We've got French Bulldogs. We've got a Jack Russell Terrier. And get this, every dog has a very, I'm yelling. I got these mics on. I'm wilding. I'm wilding, y'all. I'm wilding. I'm wilding. Every dog has its own identity and its own personality. So each dog then breeds about, we'll just say, new behaviors, new challenges, new issues. Stan, in your humble opinion, what's one of the things that you can do if you have 2 boys that are fighting? Because I tell them nothing. Yeah. I'm like this, hey, y'all fucked.
I mean, if you allow them to get to that point, you are going to be going behind the 8 ball. You're going to be going behind the curve. So you are going to have to make sure that you have discipline and structure. Damn, that was the furthest shots I ever jumped.
No, it's not, bro. We missed one the other day and she was on a mission.
Yeah, she was on a mission. But once 2 males start getting into it and 2 females at the same breed, I would not suggest you having 2 of the same genders if you are trying to have multiple dogs. Get a male and a female dog because they're always going to have issues, especially if you have 2 females and they get into it. Unless they get it out of their system, it's going to be on site for them.
And out of their system, it means it's never out of their system, people.
Yeah.
Unlike dogs, some people say, let's take them to therapy. A dog that has prey drive is always going to be driven by prey. And in this world, you're either predator or prey. You're either the shark or the minnow. Somebody get eaten. Once the dog gets activated, and Stan dealt with this, Stan, walk them through you and your first game dog.
Juice.
You go.
Juice, man.
Now, mind you, I warned this nigga. I said, make sure you get in his face, nigga. Make sure you get it. Look, I warned this nigga. I said, bro, do you know what you're doing? And he goes, I'll be fine, basically. I'm like this, all right, nigga.
Yeah, and then, I said the same thing to a couple of pit bull guys. They're like, hey, you can't have him around these other dogs like that. And I was like, oh, it'll be okay if I never excite that drive out of them. And there was a time where it was actually one of the few videos I think Trevor did not post. We were out at, I forget where we were. We had it was Ego.
We was at a baseball park and it was this trail, some area that I found.
And there was a river or something. And Juice actually jumped on. Ego had a harness on at the time.
Get in the house. Now,
and luckily he did have a harness on because Juice grabbed onto that harness and he didn't want to let go. And then we were walking back to the house or back to the car, and I think Jamarcus had
Flex.
I think it was Flex at the time, and I had Juice on the leash, and Flex got within Juice's reach, and he grabbed upon him. And I had never put him in their situation. I have never rolled the dog. I never, excited that side of them, but it's literally in their genetics to do those things. So it came out.
But walk them through him even coming up the leash on you because he's a fighter.
Oh, yeah.
So keep in mind, his behavior progressively got worse because the dog is so determined. So what happens is, Stan says, no, I can manage him then. We'll just keep him away from other dogs. And the wife had a terrible experience as well.
Yeah, I think I went out of town and she was letting the dogs out. And I was like, hey, make sure you let Juice out by himself. And she was going to let him out the house, the back door. And he spun out and ran and jumped on Jax. Jax is a punk. Jax he's a bum, and all the dogs like picking on him. So for whatever reason, Juice wanted to get on him, and she said she beat him with a broom. She threw a bucket of water on him.
Imagine how much time it take to fill a whole bucket of water up just to try to get a dog like this. All right, Jack, hold on.
Yeah.
You filling up a bucket of water while a dog getting chewed up.
And
that's one,
he's getting chewed on.
2, and the water hose don't even fill a bucket up fast.
They was in the house.
Oh,
yeah, they was in the house. It was the sink.
I mean, you gotta use the sink? Nigga, that bucket is gonna take all day, nigga.
Yeah, so the only thing that managed to get him off of Jax is what she used like a break stick, put it down his throat, and he came off. Jax ran in the kennel, she was able to grab him. But again, these things it's just in these dogs. And if you don't have them out of control, and Juice checks out. So what Trevor was saying when he did come up leash, it was over food. And I had 3 bowls of food in my hand, and I'm going outside, and then the miniature schnauzer runs out the house real quick, and he goes right over to Juice, and I'm like, oh shit. So I go over, I drop the food, I grab Loki, put him back in the house. When I came back to pick up the food bowl, Juice came up at me. He was on the chain. I'm like, hey, there's no way that just happened. So I grabbed him, put him in the kennel, and I was like, hey, we're gonna go work on this. So I put a prong collar on him, I put a food bowl down, and we're walking around doing some basic obedience stuff. He's sitting down and doing everything. He goes for the food. I correct him. He looks at me, goes back for the food again. So I corrected him again, and he was like, "That's a bet." He comes up leash. I go to pop him one more time. Prong collar comes off. I have no way to correct the dog right now. There's no leash, there's no prong, there's no collar on him. He keeps coming up. Luckily, I've escaped a couple of dogs in my lifetime, so I made a miss. I'm like, there ain't no fucking way. He comes up. I was able to grab him, threw him in the crate, and the next call that I had was to the breeder. I'm like, hey, what would you do in this situation besides
Put him down.
Yeah. And he was like, hey, sell him back to me. and that's why we no longer have Juice. But when you do have these dogs that get into that red zone, you got to make sure that you're managing that early and often. And Juice was never my first dog that I was working with. So he didn't have that off switch that I would like. So, I mean, it was my fault that he got to the point where he can get red and he didn't really care about me because we didn't spend enough time. I was working with Boots. I was working with Hero, all of these different dogs.
Yeah, you can say that, man, but you go back to the genetic makeup of a dog, man. Unfortunately, he was bred for those purposes.
But he wasn't bred to go after men.
No.
So it wasn't, they're not supposed to have human aggression. So he just checked out and he was like, I don't give a fuck. And I think if I would have probably spent a little bit more time with him, it might not have got to that point.
I think it will, because every now and then there's, if you breed a fighting dog, there's a risk that one comes up to the leash, or because none of them were ever bred to fight. But if one, meaning a human,
Yeah.
But if one did show aggression to a human, they would put it right down in the ring for a reason.
Straight.
So you're still running the risk when you're breeding a dog who's highly motivated.
Mm-hmm.
And when they do go black or in the red zone, whichever zone you call it, and they are no longer seeing you as owner, lover, handler, caregiver, etc., they're somewhere else regardless.
Yeah.
And there's no taking them out of there.
And then the worst part about it is 2 seconds after he tried to come up leash, I'm sitting there and I'm like, all right, hold on. This some bitch tried to crawl up in my lap and act like we was friends. I'm like, nah, I don't trust you no more, bro. And if you ever get to the point where you don't trust your dog, you need to get rid of them or put them down. Because it's not safe in the home.
And keep in mind, Sam has 3 daughters, people.
Yeah.
3 daughters. And in my opinion, you know, if wife ever called and one of the girls is getting chewed up by a motivated dog, bro, how do you live with yourself after that?
I mean, you can't. Like, I mean, their life's gonna be traumatized, and we do dogs, so it's like they're gonna be afraid of dogs for the rest of their life, and it's like, damn, now do I have to change my lifestyle for the kids? So it was a very quick decision, and I think literally maybe 1-2 days after that shit happened, he was gone.
There you have it. So when managing behavior, people, I tell you, time, energy, and effort. Make sure you understand each one of your dogs. Y'all just saw, put Zara up. Zara is getting aggressive, and I could throw a ball right now and she wouldn't chase it. She would just look at me. I could put a pillow up. She ain't gonna do it. She gets motivated when I'm outside and when other dogs are getting competitive, but she's more so testing your will, so she wants to fight. That's her only issue. She wants to fight. But she's actually a very loving dog. So I'm not worried about her with Stan or Jamarcus. Matter of fact, I seen her almost chew a dog up, and the owner grabbed her, some dude that she don't know grabbed her, and she never redirected her hips. But when it comes to dogs, it's like a Chris Brown song, boy. She's on it popping. Popping. You go, wow. I don't want no trouble.
You definitely have to know what kind of dog you are getting. So if you are getting even the bullies are rooted in a pit bull. They are rooted in a dog who gets active. Yes, they're a little bit more civilized now, we can call it, but once they go red, I mean, we put a chief, we put a prong, or we were trying to get him to out.
Oh yeah.
And we put an e-collar on him, and he was like, oh shit, this should work. That son of a bitch was on 120, and he just checked out, and he was biting. I said, hey, get this fucking dog off me. He's biting way too hard, because they check out, and that's what they were bred to do. When they felt pain, they were supposed to inflict more pain, and that's how they got rid of it. So
you know what's crazy though, Sam? Is some people don't think about this. Right now, back in the days, people were bred to get up, stand up, right? There's a lot of folks nowadays who have been bred to sit down and let just shit slide. Mm-hmm. So then they get mad at people like me and you for treating the dog like a dog, because it is a dog, and these are motivated dogs.
Yeah.
But I bred the dogs to keep going. I breed them to stay moving, to stay competing, to stay motivated.
I mean, even at stage 4 cancer, he still wants to get on the pillow.
Man, he only out here because he's like, yo, why are y'all here and I'm not doing nothing?
Yeah.
He's got my guy's got a week or 2 left.
And he still wants to go. I mean, you know,
I will not deny him his right to live.
I
And I'm not going to put him to death.
He may die on the pillow one day.
That could be, he could literally come down and just be like, thanks,
I'm done.
man. And I can live with that now. I'll probably bawl like a baby if I'm being honest. Like, if that happens, like, certain things don't get me. Like, if we walk into the Tadlock, I'll probably shed a tear or so. And like, oh, he's gone, guys. He's no longer with us. You'll cry. But like, if he died active, man, it'd crush me. Because you go, at least he lived, man.
In retrospect, that's probably the way he would want to go anyways.
Facts.
Going out doing
Anything else you want to hit on behavior-wise, man? Because I mean, I get the messages all the time. We try to show everything that goes right and goes wrong in our house. We are not perfect people, and trust me, there are a lot more people dealing with dog aggression and dog problems than just us. We just try to make sure we show you, hey, there's a human component to this thing, man, and we got a lot of work to do. Which ain't a bad thing. Anything else, man?
Yeah, no. If you are having behavioral issues, try to stop them before they occur, because especially if you get these dogs, once they get it in their system, it's going to be there. If you have two dogs and they start fighting and they get into it, that's probably always going to be happening. So like Jackson Rocco, Oakley was in heat one day. I came home, Oakley's crate was in the kitchen. There was shit everywhere. There was blood everywhere. And I'm like, what the fuck? And these two motherfuckers is laying on the couch. They was cool after they had got it out of the system, but Rocco's face was swollen, Jax was all ate up, and Rocco now, if he see Jax and he don't want him, he lets him know. So these are things that you're always going to have to be paying attention to if you allow these things to happen. So behavioral issues, stop them before they happen. And that means having a nice routine with your dogs. That's make sure each dog understands what they're supposed to be doing individually. Because if you get 5, 6 dogs out here, they're going to be more amped up than if you were working with one dog. So you want to make sure you're creating boundaries early and often with these dogs. Creating routine is going to have a better relationship with the dogs. Just like you see here. Trev picked up the balls.
Time to put them up. Time to
they're done.
They can go swim some more if they want. But right now, what we saw the other day too, Tron's stomach filled up quite a bit. And what ended up happening was he got out the water and threw up. Huh?
It's Frenchies, man. They keep nipping at him.
Yeah, and that'll be a correction that they don't want because Tron bites hard, and he's one of those defensive dogs. So what that means is, if he bites to correct him, he'll bite to kill him.
Yeah,
because he'll be like, "Yo,
mean to."
Yeah, that's the point. Like, so if they end up dead, it ain't Tron's fault because he goes like, "Why are y'all bothering me?" Mm-hmm. And his form of correction is like, somebody don't know their strength. You know, yeah. so and it's the same thing with like a venomous snake. Baby snakes don't know perspective. So they say the baby venomous snakes are way more potent because when they bite, they just let all the top venom go.
Everything.
But when the adults bite, they bite to subdue, sedate, and it's like, oh, I just need you as prey.
Yep.
I just need some food. So same thing with Tron. Tron has never, to be clear, really corrected any dog, and he is a strong dog. Mm-hmm. So when he responds, you say, hey, is that a bad dog because he killed him by accident? No. Our job is to tighten up their approach so that they know how to coexist in this home. And mind you, Frenchies are still available, people. We still got some work to do, man. And we created parameters on that, and I'll walk you through that in another episode. But Stan, thank you so much for walking me through the story of Jax, the story of Rocco, the story of Juice, managing a bunch of hoodlums, their indifferences, how to look at behavior, and I still don't think we told you a thing. Guys, take care of your dogs.